was sent to the Secretary General for Consent to move the clause containing the petition. There is the preamble. We have pillars of the Women's Guild, which are worship, fellowship, and service. We have also cause, values of Women's Guild. We have the laws of Women's Guild in that petition, Mr. Moderator, sir. We also ask a question in that petition: why join the Women's Guild? And allow me to stress this important point. One is for fellowship, spiritual growth, and the strengthening of faith. Two, for networking, socialization, friendship, and emotional support. Three, to attend mission work, including and not limited to needy cases, prisoners, and neglected people.
For a minute, there was an interruption there. Someone was just sneaked in some document. Was that Elder Ongegi? What have you just done? Take your burdens, keep them until we invite you, because we had given you an opportunity and you are away. Therefore, we will give you an opportunity later, formally. Now you are interrupting a very important thing. Go on.
Thank you, Moderator, sir. Still in Article 3.0, the paragraph, most women, members of the Presbyterian Church of East Africa, would willfully be interested in partaking in those worthy causes as being undertaken by the Women's Guild. But there is a limitation in the Women's Guild Constitution, where we have the membership in Article 13.5, where it says, for admission, members of the Guild is open to all committed Christian, women and girls between the ages of 20 to 55 years of old, who are active communicant members of the church, are not of questionable character, and who accept to abide by this constitution. Therefore, Moderator, sir, this age limitation serves as an hindrance to admission of many ladies who, for one reason or the other, did not gain admission to the Women's Guild earlier or joined the Presbyterian Church of East Africa at an advanced age. And with that, Moderator, sir, I want now to invite Elder Waitito to second and also move the clause containing the petition. Thank you, sir.
Moderator, sir, GAC officials, commissioners, and the delegates, I want now to bring to you the clause of the petition of Women Guild. In our document, that is 0.7, page 8, and it reads, with the foregoing, it is evident that legislating on the age of membership of Women's Guild at age 55 years is counterproductive and serves as an instrument of discrimination as well as denial of opportunity to serve God and humanity in the traditional ways, the women ministry have always used. Therefore, as Umoja through Umoja Parish Session in Nakuru East, petition the 23rd General Assembly Committee to through the President of Nakuru East to consider to amend the Women's Guild Constitution Clause A 13.5 by deleting the words between the age of 20 to 55 years old and read like this. A 13.5. For admission, membership of the Women's Guild is open to all committed Christian women and girls who are active and communicant members of the church and are not of questionable character and who accept to abide by this constitution. Moderator, sir, the GA, this is our petition to look at the age of our beautiful ladies so that they can be able to work in the vineyard. In reference of our Constitution of Kenya, the age of retirement of personnel, it went up to 60. Why not of our women? Thank you, Moderator.
Thank you. The now petition is before the House. I hope it's understood. If there is any clarification that you'd want, you can seek it by raising your hand, and then we allow some element of debate. We'll allow commissioners to contribute, but since they are also delegates who come from the Women's Guild and they are in the House, we could also allow them, if they seek, to also make a contribution. So if there is nobody seeking clarity, we can now open the matter for debate. The matter is now before the House for debate. I see a hand of Reverend Dia, and then we go to a delegate.
Thank you, Moderator and the Assembly. I would just like to ask you whether they have considered other factors beside the age.
Okay, I had sought for questions, but not too late. Any other question? Okay, then would you respond to that? Whether you had considered any other factors other than age?
Yes, Moderator, sir. We have considered all around that, one, the person should be of good character, and before that, has to have received Jesus Christ as a person. One, it's a way of evangelism. It's a way of considering our women at the age of 55. This is the time they are very strong. We require them in the society, and especially also in the church. We have also considered their questionable character, because already we have done the evangelism to them. So we have considered all around, Moderator, sir, and the delegates, and the commissioners, that if we consider this, then even the workload will also reduce even in our churches.
Thank you. I saw the hand of Reverend Elizabeth.
Thank you, Moderator, sir. I want to begin by saying that being part of the Women's Guild, the ministry, for a few years that I have been there, age has always been a debatable issue. There's a group of women who talk about age being something that is not to be so much considered, because to them, this is a fellowship. But secondly, on the other hand, there is that group of women who consider why age was considered when this fellowship was being formed. We have three pillars that we talk about in the Constitution that help us be able to achieve the aim of the Women's Guild. One is worship, the other one is fellowship, and the third one is service. And one of the things that was considered when they were considering the age was service. That Women's Guild members come to serve. Therefore, as they come to serve, there is that aspect of energy. There's that aspect of them being able to give their input because of that clause of age. Therefore, Moderator Sir, even as we consider the issue of removing the clause of the age, I'm also thinking of a scenario where, yes, it is a fellowship and people should be allowed to come and serve. But also secondly, is that could we have a scenario where now when it is open to everybody, the younger women might not desire to get into the Women's Guild at a younger age? Because after all, even when they are old, they will be allowed to come in. Therefore, we might have a group of women who are more of an older age because they have finished giving birth, they have finished working, and they have retired. And some of them, as they claim, there then is when they have time to serve. But we also encourage them that they can serve even when they are serving the community and they are serving the government or whatever else they are serving. So as we consider that, we should also look into that so that we may also not have a scenario where we have allowed the younger, or given the younger women the leeway of not really joining, because after all they'll join later. Thank you, Mr. Moderator, sir.
Heard on this side, Dr. Reverend Jeff.
Moderator, sir, I think the lady who has just spoken before me has addressed a concern that I had, but I had a problem with the petition mover, particularly on the choice of words to justify the reason as to why the age cap should be removed. And he concentrated so much on the issue of workers in the vineyard. And I believe, obviously, the reason as to why age is put in is simply because probably, the energy goes on, dwindling as somebody grows in age. And I was wondering what kind of service that they expect somebody who is, advanced in age to provide in that particular group. But I think the issue of the fellowship that the lady has brought out clearly may probably soothe my ego. But his statement, I had a problem with it, but I think I'm comfortable when the issue of the fellowship comes in. It's a concern. Thank you.
Give the mic here to Reverend Hugh.
Thank you, Moderator. I think the petition did not come out clearly. One, they needed to be clear as to why the age cap was put in the first place, what issues were being addressed, so that then they can be able to say that these issues having been addressed, then this cap can be removed, because there must have been a reason as to why it was put. Secondly, the guild is a voluntary organization. It's a voluntary group. Indeed, the word itself, guild, which is of Scandinavian origin, means the money that we pay for registration. So it being a voluntary organization, then there needed to be a justification as to why the cap for 55, and I see the note, they're removing not just the 55, but the 20. So that we're removing the 20 bit and the 55 bit. We needed to justify, we are seeking the removal of the 55 clause because we have 200 women who wanted to join but have been locked out. That is why we are seeking. Otherwise, we might be seeking to open the gate and nobody is knocking. So the the petition is not clear. I think the petition has not been, the petitioners have not considered other factors as to why. They have not addressed as to why that was put in the first place, so that then we'll not have an issue in the days to come that this was what was being addressed. Now it has been removed, we still have the same problem. So they needed to bring it out a bit more clearly. It is not clear, it is not, thirdly, the clarity of what they are aiming to cure is not there. That's my opinion, sir.
Elder Keguro?
Thank you, Moderator, sir. I tend to think that what Reverend Elizabeth have said it all, because you need also to understand the society we are living in. Our church is not an exception. We have people who come into the church not to serve, but to be served. And so therefore, allowing somebody to join the Women's Guild at such a late age, this is somebody who have not just joined the church recently. He has been in the church, he doesn't want to serve, but when he finds that it's almost time to go to her maker, he wants to be buried in a ceremonious guild way and decide to be a member of Women's Guild. Thank you.
Kuna maneno. There is an elder there. I don't identify him properly. He'll identify himself.
Thank you, Moderator and the commissioners. There's been issues about reviewing the PPE because issues come and they change. I believe when the guild put the age at 55, it is when the civil servants were retiring at 55. And that was not changed to 60. I think it is their time they review that clause to allow the guild members to serve even at age 60 or 65. Elders, church elders retire at 65. And even at 55, almost 60, some elders are very active and they do very well. So I think we should allow them to continue serving until they retire at 65. Thank you.
There is no retirement age in the Women's Guild. We are talking about entry, 20 to 55. That's where it was capped. The issue is now removing the cap altogether. They can enter at a young, whatever age, and they can remain, they can also join later in life. Our guy?
Thank you, Moderator. The issues of justification have actually been put very clearly in the petition. The first justification is the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya, 2010, which prohibits any segregation or discrimination on the grounds, on various grounds. Age is one of them. So that's the first thing. Secondly, in the petition, you find that it has a very clear comparison with other Presbyterian churches and what they have done with similar groups. And there's been cited there the Church of Scotland, which has moved on, and where they have stated that the membership of the guild is open to all who accept the aim. Finally, all petitions must go through the business committee that checks on their competency. It's a bit late to now actually question the competency, especially when we've received the clerks of assemblies report and we've carried the resolutions there. So we cannot now raise preliminary issues. Now it's an issue of determination. Thank you.
That's where we are now. We are debating on determination. Aha. I see a number of hands. Let me allow a delegate to speak. Reverend Peters. Then we can get the others. Then come over here.
Thank you, Moderator. I'm trying to think it out, whether we are fixing ourselves, and especially not at this level, but at the ground level. meaning when the door is fully open, anybody can enter through it. And in case somebody tries to impede somebody who is interested to join Women's Guild, even if it's the last minute, it will bring issues at the ground, either through the minister or the women themselves. Even if it is at 99 and that person is going or is not able to serve, you cannot deny that person to enter because she is willing to do that. And in case you try to say otherwise, the door is open. I see as if we may create a situation that may raise some issues at the ground, maybe of loggerheads or some discomfort with the pastoral work.
Okay, Level Kalanja, then Level Kariuki, tuhame baada hiyo kidogo.
Thank you, Moderator, and the Assembly. I'm supporting the petition, and it is well supported, as has been said. And I believe they have checked at what is the core purpose of Women's Guild. Women's Guild is not like any other association. It's a fellowship. And being a fellowship, age, we cannot put age. For instance, even in the admission of church membership, where we also admit people to serve, we never say that this one is not, is old to serve. So we accommodate everyone. And I also want to remove the fear that younger women will refuse to join the Women's Guild, because I joined the church as a young person, a youth. And there are people who joined the church even at their 80s. So I didn't refuse to join because I have time. So I believe that there are other things that need to be done to make, to still let the young women come to the Women's Guild, make it very attractive. Because it's like sometimes we assume the purpose of Women's Guild is to bury. And that is not the main purpose. Because the ones that I have ever heard talking about the age, they sometimes say that this person is about to die. So he's coming to give us work. So I believe that is not the aim, but it is bring all women into fellowship without discriminating, as has also been investigated by our national constitution. Okay, so I beg to support the petition.
Kariuki is before you.
Moderator, sir, I think the Women's Guild ministry has more problems than age, because there are so many women in the church who are not in guild, and the guild is the only ministry we have for women. We don't have daughters of PCA or the ones we hear in other churches. So I would support the petition and also pray for further investigation on how we can incorporate all women in the guild ministry. There is a problem. The second reason why I support the petition is because of these ladies who come from other churches. I'm actually a victim. There's one lady who even accused me somewhere. You come from Catholic Church as a member of SOA. You are 60 years, but you cannot be incorporated in Women's Guild. They cannot understand. I was a member of Mothers Union in another church. Just because I'm over 55, I cannot be incorporated in a fellowship. I would actually support that petition for the sake of that category of ladies. Moderator, thank you.
Okay, let me hear elders now. The elders are three. There is a lady, then the two gentlemen, and one more.
Thank you, Moderator, sir. My name is Susan Jomo, and concerning what you're talking about, I am of the opinion that we don't leave age limit as open as we would say. I would suggest that we go by 20 and then we go up to 60 years. Because I believe that even at 60, ladies are active. They will be able to give the service. And therefore, instead of leaving it open up to 99, 100 years, whereby we are saying that when you join Guild, you're expected to serve, I would rather we go for 60 years. Thank you.
Elder Tumo, Elder Kamwati.
Thank you, moderator and the GAC. I love thinking about change management, and therefore, in support of the petition, you know, it's good to ask ourselves why things are done the way they are done. And moderator, while the PCA church is busy, very busy, keeping people off or finding reasons why we should not admit them, there are very many other churches that are seeking to admit those people. And they will not only admit them, you know, we are talking, the petition talks of admission of people who are communicants. So by locking them out, what we are effectively saying is that out of our communicants, we are telling you off. Because if we cannot admit you into our fellowship, we are telling you, you can, they say, go to hell. The Women's Guild is one of our prides. You know, we pride ourselves when we see the blue uniform. The blue uniform has been borrowed. And moderator, sir, I see a church near Thika Road somewhere, Roasters, that has a lot of women. All their women are in blue. Some of our women think that that would be the best place to be because there are no restrictions. Moderator, the person who trained me in brigade from Nyeri Hill is still a trainer, and I suspect she must be now over 90 years. She's still a trainer, a national trainer, running up and down. There are several things that have been included in the petition. One, that life expectancy has improved. There was a time when you were growing up and getting to 47, you are expected to have died because life expectancy was at 47. Today, we have a crisis, moderator, because even the ministers who are retiring are more energetic, more vibrant than the young or the middle-aged ministers. Life issues of life have changed. And therefore, moderator, it will only be important that we seek to check with what they have prosecuted. They have indicated even that passage where the parable of the person who went to the Shaba at 3, and they were all paid the same. Moderator, the petition does not seek to change the other preliminaries. The preliminaries towards joining Women's Guild requires a following that you need to follow for. So if somebody will not be active in service, they will not qualify because they will not be able to follow the footsteps. So the petition is saying if one needs to follow for 2 years in active communion and fellowship to be admitted, those who are joining to die or to be buried, they will not be able to join. Thank you, moderator.
Moderator, sir, in support of that petition, I would like to say that energy and service are not 100% correlated. After all, Moses began his ministry at 80 years old. I also would like to say that the moderator of the GA, I think it's a threshold that you must be over 50 or 55. That does not mean you are not energetic.
I am.
You're very energetic. So, energy and service are not correlated 100%. So there must be a way to encourage the women to enter the guild early, but that does not mean you cannot join late. We would rather have you join early than late, but even if you come at late, we still accept you. I think that's what they are saying. And again, in a teamwork or in a team, the service that requires energy should be reserved for the young women. But the energy the roles that does not require a lot of energy should be served for the older women. So I think we should let them change the age bracket.
I hear like nothing new is being said. It's being said in a very good way. What has been said now again and again in a very good way. But I hear like those who are saying yes, those who are saying no are almost arguing from the same page. So maybe we could put the matter to vote. Usually the recommendation, the resolution would be read, and then we can agree, do we take it as it is, or do we take it with amendment? Then we'll be dispensed with it. There's an elder there who insists that he has something very new that has not been said, so I'd rather allow him.
Thank you, moderator. I was just fearing we may fall to a patriotic situations whereby the ladies were just given the ID just the other day. They never used to be given national IDs. They used to go with their fathers, their brothers, so that they are recognized by the government. The same when you look at the PCMF, it has not that bracket that blocks them. It's open. So I was feeling, because it's a service that they are giving, they be allowed. I'm looking at my mother, who is above 80, and the wisdom she gives to us, and I feel that mother should be allowed to go and give advice and even counseling to any ladies and even the church. They are useful when we open that age limit.
Well, thank you for that addition. We are not discussing, it's good to make it clear, we are not discussing a retirement age, because there is no retirement age. Once you join, you are part of the fellowship unto death. It's about entry. It's about entry. So any member of the Women's Guild who is at 100 that joined earlier is still a member even in her old age. You are never retired from the Women's Guild. So let's get that clearly so that we do not argue like, you know, there are women who are being retired because of age. The way we retire ministers, the way we retire elders, there is no retirement age in the Women's Guild. Once you join, you remain a member. It's only that you can't take office at a certain age. But for being a member and being buried, as some have already said, you still be buried. They buried my mother 1.5 years ago at 98 because she was a member. So it's not about exiting, it's about entry. So that's the matter before us. And since it looks now like the issue has been canvassed all over, if you allow me, then I'll ask them to read the resolution again so that we vote for it. Levergioko, you believe you have something that can change the course of the day in whatever direction? Okay, do.
Bwana asifiwe sana. I thought it was good for me to just mention this before we come to the vote. Every human being, and especially in Kenya, we have what we call the Bill of Rights, that is enshrined in Chapter 4 of our Constitution. And under Part 2 of the Bill of Rights, one of the things that says under the freedoms that people should have is whatever you give to a man should also be available to a woman. So if men are allowed, have no age limits, then women should also not have any age limit. If you allow me to lead, I can lead.
The Bill of Rights?
Yeah, the Bill of Rights, Chapter 4.
Let's not lead it, because we may enter in uncharted waters. That argument, take your seat, please. Take your seat. That argument, I don't know whether it should apply in this matter, because, you know, we have caveat in almost entry of every group. So if we use it, we are opening up a can of worms in need of recruitment of ministers, even retirement of ministers, ordination of elders. Tukiingia hapo, tutaingia kwa hatari. Wacha tu deal na hii ambayo imekuja. Hizo zingine za kusema Bill of Rights, they are aware and we serve under them, but also there are terms and conditions. Because the next thing will be you can't even prevent a Muslim from becoming one of us in the ministry because una discriminate. Na shule yenu hamwezi kukosa kumruhusu ahead sababu una discriminate. So those are uncharted waters. Let's be careful how we handle that issue. Therefore, let's deal with the matter at hand. The matter at hand is about entry into the women's guild. Let's deal with that. So now I'll ask the mover to come over, lead the resolution, and then we agree to vote for it as it is or with amendment, if there is amendment. Read the resolution once again. Mover.
Thank you, Moderator Sir, and the General Administrative Committee. I lead for admission. Membership of the Guild is open to all committed Christian women and girls who are active communicant, members of the church, are not of questionable character, and who accept to abide by this constitution.
That is the motion now we are going to vote for. Any amendment? Reverend Kagwamba? Get the mic, get the mic.
We raise the entry age from 45 to 55.
No, the entry age is
55,
20.
20 to 55. Instead of 45, now to 55.
From the entry age presently is 20 to 55.
Then it is okay, we remain with that.
Okay. Did you have an amendment? An amendment. I am now inviting an amendment to the motion, if there is one.
Moderator, sir, thank you. I propose it reads this way. For admission, membership of the Guild is open to all committed Christian women and girls between the ages of 20 to 60 years old who are active communicant, members of the church, are not of questionable character.
And off. Not of.
And are not of.
Light.
And are not of questionable character. Thank you. And who accept to abide by this constitution.
That is a proposed amendment. Is there a seconder? No, you don't say no. Is there a heart from an elder? There's a heart there from Elder Martin. Can you say something as you second?
Thank you, Moderator and the GAC. I wish to second because, as it has been said, we still need people who are able to serve, and we believe that, as it has been said, that the retirement age from the government or other institutions is 60. So I believe that at 60, one should be allowed, but not just open. Thank you.
So we now vote first for that one. If it falls, we go to the original motion. Sawa sawa. That motion, if it is carried, because it has been seconded, will take precedence over the other one. But if it falls, we go to vote for the original one. Okay. So that motion that the age be capped between 20 and 60. How many are of that opinion? Say yes. Yes. But let's start with accreditation first. We first started that way. Yeah, the amendment by Reverend Kaja, seconded by Elder Martin, is that entry age be between 20 and 60 without changing anything else in the earlier motion, in the earlier proposed resolution. Is that accepted? Yes. Is that accepted? Yes. Then we can try and see the hearts then. Those who accept that the entry age be between, and not delegates. Delegates don't vote. Commissioners only. Delegates can claim. When it goes past there, you can't say anything more. Those commissioners who are for it should be amended between 20 and 60. Raise your hands. I don't know whether to count or just assume we can see the number. The clerks maybe can, sorry? He has already done an enumeration. He says you are 40. Tikimeibo. Okay, those who are for 20 to 60, raise your hands. 20 and to 60. 20 to 60. Hao wengine ni wale wanataka iwe open au hata hawataki hiyo maneno. Silence please. No canvassing. 43. Kweli tatu zilikuwa zimeibiwa. That's why it's good to open the server. Okay, those who say no to that, 20 to 60, those who say no. Commissioners only, if you see any delegate raising their hand, uwaonye. Sorry? We will count them if there is a tie. 56. So we go back now to the original proposal. Okay, then without introduce it again, those who support the motion that was put before us, that there will be no capping of age, and the rest was spoken so well I don't have to repeat it. Those who are for, can you hear yes? Yes. Those who are against, can I hear no? Again, those who are for against, can I hear no? No. The yes have it.
Thank you, moderator.
So
it is still around before they leave. Although if I spoke, I could have influenced, and but the word PCEA should appear. So to read for admission, members of the guild who are committed PCA members, so that they don't just say any woman out there. The word PCA women should appear. Moderator.
Thank you. Thank you. We are then dispensed with that. We await now the next order. The next order?
Moderator.
Sorry, before maybe you go to the next order, there was Elder Wangegi who wanted to sneak a document into the house under the cover of some darkness. Now here he comes. He presents the minute book. Those who walk in the right.
Moderator, the next order is the report of Training and Personnel Development Committee.
I am the chair to that standing committee. I now invite past moderator, Reverend Dr. Mwamba. You're also part of the report. Okay, then Dr. Jesse takes the seat. And we have many children in the department, so we require a number of seats. The DSG, who is the secretary, will advise us how many should come over.
In this respect, moderator sir, we have Rubate, lead training, TE department, and Puer. The chair, secretary, and the chair to come over. To come in front, TEE Department, Secretary and Chair, Rubate Teachers College, Chair and the Secretary, and the Presbyterian University. Moderator of the 23rd General Assembly, Fathers in God, fellow commissioners and delegates, I present the report of the Training and Personnel Development Committee on the first GAC of the 23rd General Assembly, Document 5. Document 5. It's in the first pages of your document. Very, very first pages of your document named as D51. The page numbers are down there named as D51. Document 5. Introduction. The Training and Personnel Development Committee is entrusted with training both clergy and laity in our church. The committee also oversees training program for its personnel, approves licensing and ordination of ministers. Human resource of any organization is the most important, hence the critical importance of this committee. The church is in her growth. The church in her growth must take into consideration modern and sophisticated lifestyles in view of addressing them in our proclamation of the gospel and other natural causes. In our approach to human needs, the church must undertake to train and diversify and competently to train diversified and competent manpower to address these needs within and without the church. The members of the committee are noted therein, and in the interest of time, Moderator Sir, if allowed, because the names are in the docket 65. Allowed not to read every name. Thank you, because we have them in our dockets, we can go through the list up to number 65. We had student ministers in practicals. The names are there: Mr. Maurice Karemi Mugambi, Mrs. Lois Mudhoni Mugambi, Mrs. Maureen Gaki Getari, Mr. Charles Kibicho Mugo, Mr. Jonah Kairo Mwangi, Mr. Simon Ngige Mwaga, Mr. Wycliffe Juma Oyego, Mr. Nahashon Duo Mundia, Mr. Joel Joroge Kairu, Mr. Lawrence Kinyanjui Kihoyo, Mrs. Alice Nyakoya Kithinji, Mr. John Kabau Jurumba, Mr. Francis Gashoka Sharago, Mr. Peter Mbugwa Wainaina, Mr. James Mwaniki, Mr. Joseph Mugenyu Masharia, Mr. Francis Gadifei Ruai, Mr. Rabson Mirima, and Mr. Paul Mungai Ndongo. Recruitment of theological students at Puer. Due to COVID issues and the state of the Department of Theology in Puer, Wisdom directed that recruitment for the new students be halted for 1 year. Tent making. Recruitment of tent makers was also halted, and the training committee was mandated to come up with a guiding policy to be ratified by the business committee. Licensing and ordination. In the year under review, Reverends Nasan Kakiti, Florence Wambua, and James Wambua Gathombe were ordained into holy ministry. Exit interviews. Exit interviews were conducted for students leaving Puer and were scheduled for a 3 weeks ministerial formation course at the Late Training and Conference Center before reporting to practical training as student ministers. Personnel on further training, one is Reverend Lucas Waweru in Vanderbilt University, and two, Reverend Michael Orwa, Columbia Theological University. The Training and Personnel Development Committee compasses 4 other departments, and which include Rubate Teachers College, Lay Training Center, T Department, and the Presbyterian University. I would call upon Moderator Sir, the respective other departments, to give a brief of their reports before I call my chairman to second. And in this respect, I would call Rubate to give an overview of their report.
Thank you, Moderator Sir, and the commissioners and executives present. Presbyterian Teachers College Rubate has 2 or 3 institutions in one. We have Presbyterian University of East Africa, Poya Center. We have Presbyterian Teachers College Rubate, and we have Presbyterian Technical College Rubate. Due to COVID-19 and change of education system in Kenya, the number of students joining the Presbyterian Teachers College, especially Rubate, has declined. And to deal with this issue, we started what we are calling Presbyterian Technical College Rubate, but it has also not been able to attract a lot of students as it was envisaged, because most of the technical institutions in Kenya are heavily funded by the government, and therefore most of the students have not joined. And also due to the change of policy in education, whereby for you to join teacher training college, what now we are calling diploma in primary teacher education, you require a diploma. To pursue diploma in primary teacher education, you require a mini grade of C, and C in mathematics, in English, in Kiswahili, in a science and humanities. Due to this, the college and all the colleges in Kenya have not been able to attract number of students to train as teachers. We also have another course that is called Diploma in Early Childhood Teachers Education, what used to be called ECDE. It is no longer ECD now, it is now a diploma, and that one we have been able to attract a few students. And now due to this, our population has considerably decreased. In the university, as we are now, we have less than 10 students pursuing education in what we are calling ECD, what is now called Diploma in Early Childhood Teachers Education, popularly abbreviated as DECTE. We have not more than 25, and also in TVET, we have allowed 13, and that one has made it fairly difficult for the institution to grow. However, we are grateful to God, because most of the requirements by the government has been met. So Presbyterian Teachers College Rubate has a lot of potential. It has all the required infrastructure by the government to mount any education program, either at university level, diploma level, and certificate level. We want to thank the church, because when the college was being closed because of lack of permanent dormitory, together with the outgoing board, they were able to mount a very successful fundraiser, and were able to put up a permanent women dormitory that can now accommodate 150 female students. With those few remarks, I want to believe that through the report, you will see the details
to second that? Robatian and from Robatian. Robatian.
I stand advised, Moderator Sir, that the chairman will do that at the end of it all to confirm the report. To second the report, the chairman of the training committee.
Of the training committee, okay.
Yes, thank you so much.
All right.
So,
now then we go to the training.
late training.
Moderator Sir, returning, the Board of Management expresses gratitude to God for yet another 1 year of witness and service. In the report, we have the members of the board there. The pillars under which we are working on is empowerment, capacity building, and business ventures. Our objective is to develop capacity building programs, organize leadership training programs, establish research and development desk, develop counseling and entrepreneurship training center, and establish a vibrant business and conference center. With that, Mr. Chairman, sir, we have programs that are ongoing. The programs that are ongoing are that of training elders, also training the evangelists, that of training chaplaincy, that is chaplains, and also awareness psychosocial program for the police officers. Retraining intend to introduce new programs on top of what I've mentioned is refresher courses for practicing elders, because we have realized that we need uniformity in the church, and especially in the area of elders. Pastoral care, suicidal ideation, loss and grief, debriefing, and professional ethics. We are looking forward to starting those that we may be able to take care of the church in wholeness. Also, on training of elders, we have programs that we take, or other courses that they take. There are 24 of them. They are listed there in the report. And I know there is also a big list of the elders that we have taken care of in the year under review. And we are also experiencing a few challenges. One is some presbyteries don't want to bring their elders there. They train themselves, yet they don't follow the curriculum. And we are praying that they will be able, this GAC will advise them, that it's good that we train them from the retraining, so that we give them the information, or rather the knowledge that is we give, so that we can have uniformity in the church. Achievements is that we have trained 2 or 3 elders, new elders. We have also second class of 7 chaplains graduated in diploma in chaplaincy award by the Presbyterian University on 10th 12 2021. 7 Nairobi Region Police chaplains have completed training in chaplaincy and are to graduate in diploma in chaplaincy in the year in this year. We are also looking forward to doing major renovations, since the building, the old building, was affected by the road, that is the Nakuru-Nairobi road, and we are looking forward to starting that renovations after this GAC. Otherwise, the retraining is operational and strongly going on, and I'll request Mr. Mwangi to come and second this report of the retraining.
Thank you, Moderator Sir. I second
Thank you.
Seconded. Seconded. Thank you. Then next we call the TEE.
Thank you very much, moderator and the GAC. TE department is a department of this church who is mandated to offer basic theologically sound capacity building studies to all people, including those who have other factors limiting them. The objective is to help learners to grow in faith, to enhance capacity in ministry, church leadership, and also to enhance capacity for being effective witnesses of Jesus Christ in society. We have a board membership of 10. Our staff are 6 and 2 part-time who assist us. Our courses are 5 in number. Our key course is a T basic diploma, and we also do advanced diploma for those who want to deepen the holistic nurturing of children, basically to look at children and help them grow. The crossing, which is a mentorship course, and the diploma in guidance and counseling, which we do together with the university. In the time at the review, we had several graduations across the country. If I may look at the basic TE only, the others are holistic, nurturing, and crossing. In Central, we had 192 graduates of TE, Rift Valley 116, Nairobi 163, Eastern we had 7, Mount Kenya 83. In the advanced diploma, we had 52 who graduated during the university graduation, as well as in the same graduation, we had 65 in diploma in guidance and counseling. During the COVID-19, as our way of responding to it, we introduced the virtual learning, especially in the TE basic diploma and the counseling courses. We also did a bit of reorganization of our outlets. Achievements, we've been able to introduce the online learning. We have also corrected or revised the books, especially the TE diploma books, which were full of mistakes and editorial issues. Now they are all good. We have also working on the crossing to make it a church mentorship guide course, which is we are doing together with the children, women, men ministries, and also Christian education, all the other departments. We are also now working on study guides on mental health and stress management, change and character transformation, conflict management that will go a long way in our prison mission ministry. We're also working with the prison ministry partnership proposal for funding. We have been having challenges which we have enumerated there, but basically we have, because of COVID-19, a bit of arrears growing, inadequate sponsorship, especially to our prison mission, and low uptake. And to counter this, in terms of future plans, we intend to do more in terms of making people aware of what we are doing through even through GAC TV. And one of the things that have been pending is to reorganize the advanced diploma, which we are going to try to work together with the university. But more importantly, we wish to rebrand our holistic nurturing of children course to be a course material for young parents, because we find that there is a gap with resources for young parents, and we wish to urge that we have young parents fellowships that will be equipped with the materials that we shall bring. Having said that, Moderator Sir, I now wish to invite the chairman of the board of TE to come and second the report.
Moderator Sir, I second that report.
Thank you. Report seconded. Now then we go to prayer.
Thank you, Moderator. This is the prayer report. I will just look at the highlights, because the document is in the docket, so that members can look at it at their free time. The starting point is to note that now prayer is fully chartered university after the president in December 2021 granted the charter to the university. That has been a problem before in terms of being recognized or even marketing ourselves.
The university is moving on. We have a good number of students at the moment. The number of current students is 2,437 in total. And we note that the university appears to attract students mainly from Western Nyanza, Rift Valleys, and Central Provinces, and a few other parts of Kenya. But we have a good number from those specific areas. Well, the mission of the university is to produce holistically trained graduates for service to God and humanity, and stay at the frontier of knowledge. That's the mission of the university. Their core values, which are indicated there: professionalism, stewardship and teamwork, creativity and innovation, decency and accountancy, integrity and transparency. There's a note about the physical facilities. Most of you who have been there note that there are a few mainly three blocks: the administration block, the library, and the student hostels, and a good number of student staff quarters. Then there is a bit of it, which is the prefabricated buildings, which are used for teaching. But we hope to enlarge the university, and particularly we are hoping and praying that we'll be able to come up with a chapel. The current chapel, which is part of the main admin block, is now too small, smaller than this room. And with that large number of students, we are hoping that before too long, we shall be able to mount an actual chapel for the university. A note about the status of the university is that in the COVID period, there were new difficulties. Teaching was not as easy. We went online for quite a while, and now that is settling, coming down to physical teaching. We also lost two members of the teaching staff, Dr. Kibicho and Patrick Kenya. We lost them. And then we also lost one of the subordinate staff due to a motorbike accident. These other teaching members were unwell. In terms of the programs at the university, we have 8 programs. And the theology group, the theology program, at the moment, we have 97 students. And most of these are self-sponsored students, 97. Currently, we don't have church-sponsored students. We hope that they'll come, because I understand recruitment is going on. But the one we have now are self-sponsored. And they are in different programs: certificate, 26, diploma 40, and degree 31 students. About degree programs that they are there in the university, again, we have all of them 12. All of them are 12 that include masters. There are 2 master's programs: business administration, master's in education. The others are bachelors at the moment. We have come up with curriculum for others, which are going to be submitted to Q, and these will include a master's in theology. We don't have a master's at the moment in theology, and I know that there are many people who have asked about it. So we hope that this will come in place before too long. The governance structure of the university is we have the BOT, which is top in the whole structure. The BUT members are there. We have the moderator of the General Assembly, current sitting member of the General Assembly, as the chair of that BUT. And then we have also the Secretary General as a member of that, and the Secretary. And there are nine members in total in BOT. The council, which is the body that is concerned with the normal running activities, the council again, we have 80 members. We have secretary, we have 8 members there. Below that is the Senate, which has 8, so again, senior members of the university. The other one is about, in short, the way forward. The way forward is that we wish to propose the following as a way forward for the university. Capitation by the church, that is a sponsor, a minimum of 100 million shillings, and then funds to be able to sustain the university. This fund will be able to sustain the university in its administrative function, marketing the university, and maintenance of the normal cost. Growth again for the university. We applaud the government initiative to sponsor students to the university, which has grown our population to the figure that I have mentioned. But we advise the President, Mr. Moderator, through you, to encourage the children within these presbyteries to join the university. It's the only church-sponsored university, and you hope that the church will be sensitized about it and be keen to send students here, those who are qualified. So, Mr. Moderator, lastly, I need to make an apology in that in this report, there's missing the finance report. The reason is that the Council Finance Committee chair has been away, and therefore he has not signed it because he has been away. And until he signs it, then it cannot go into the pipeline to come here. Mr. Moderator, we are praying that as soon as it's signed by the relevant persons, the Council Finance Committee, the Chair of Council, and then the VC, it will be submitted. We pray in the business. Thank you, Mr. Moderator.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, Moderator, sir, having the department's report, I now wish to invite the chairman of the Training and Development to second the report.
Moderator, sir, I wish to second the report and even the parts that were not seconded from Presbyterian College Rubate, plus the Presbyterian University. They didn't have their other staff to be here to second the report. But since it's the report of the Training and Personnel Development Committee in its entirety, and as the chair, I want to second the report by saying that we thank God for the far that he has brought us as a department and for the achievements thus far realized with the support of the church. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Church moving in education, training itself, training others, that we may be good saints, informed. Now, time for questions. Mr. Dumo, Harold Dumo.
moderator and the Training and Development Committee for well-detailed reports and the progress that are notable. I have two questions or three to the Presbyterian University, and I think one of them may apply to Rubate, that of thinking through enterprise development or income-generating activities. We find that universities across the country are suffering from low capitation. And as a result, when you go to University of Nairobi, you have University of Nairobi enterprises or services that they are offering for a profit so that they can be able to generate funds. What are we doing in those two institutions, that is Rubate and the Presbyterian University, to be able to provide or to generate revenue, either through agriculture and the like? I note, that is the first question. Question two, I note from the Presbyterian University tabulation of the student population, somewhere where you've demonstrated that you have about 8 or 12 law students doing diploma in law or bachelor's in law. When you go to the programs approved in your report, we do not see a program approved by the Commission for University Education that caters for law. Again, what are we doing about this? And thirdly, is about that capitation that we are looking at. 100 million, is it one-off, is it per year? And if it is per year, how feasible is that from the church? Thank you.
Thank you. Mike behind you.
Thank you, moderator. Mine goes to retraining. We are told that some of the buildings were affected by the road. My question is, was there compensation by the government?
Thank you. Bogwa.
Thank you, moderator. My issue is to do with the diploma being offered to the evangelists at the lay training. Often it is said that it is not academic, and so whenever evangelists come with it to be interviewed for holy ministry, they do not qualify unless they have a C+ and above. I'm wondering whether there is something that can be done to upgrade the diploma so that it is academic and acceptable, so that these men and women who we know, some of them have the call, will use it to as a grade, or rather a qualification that is acceptable when they come for interviews for holy ministry. Thank you.
Level karaoke. Now we encourage ladies also who are commissioners to participate.
Moderator, sir, my question is whether it is possible for us to create a portal where we can harness all the academic works for ease of access for knowledge or even research, because we have so many dissertations, theses that we cannot access. Thank you.
Thank you. Jige.
Thank you, Moderator, sir. I was just wondering where the HIV and drugs control desk fall into.
Okay, question. Brother there.
Thank you, moderator, the members. My concern goes to the T department. Looking at the intent, the program was mostly meant for lay. But when I look critically, the language that is used in books, they are all written in English. What are we doing so that we may use it to those other regions where people do not necessarily understand the language written in English? Is there possibility that the book be translated to Kiswahili or a more favorable language?
Brother there at the corner. not you, the men in Neville. You'll be the last one.
Moderator, sir, my question goes to where it's about financial reports. The way he has ended about financial reports, it was too casual. Because I don't understand if they got the report yesterday and they knew they are coming here and to present their report. And you understand that they could not sign their report, so I need a clarification why that report is not here. It was not signed in good time. When did they get that report that they are coming here? And the last one, where else will they represent the report?
Final one, over here.
So thank you, the moderator. So mine goes to the university. So they were in the process of getting the chancellor. So how far are we with that?
Time for answers now. Can we have answers for the for Robate?
Thank you. I want to respond to the question on income generating activities. In Lubate, we have started in a small way and hope we'll be able to grow up. We have two dairy cows. One is already, one is in a calf and the other one we are milking. So it is supplementing our milk. We have also started doing the horticulture using the available resources, cultivating and growing the vegetables that we use in our kitchen. And this one is also helping to reduce the cost. The board has also formed a committee on investment so that they'll be able to advise further. Thank you.
Questions related to the day training?
Okay, thank you so much, Moderator sir. The question number one is whether we were compensated on the load. I mean, the house that was affected by the load. It is true, we were compensated. We were given 25 million. The second one is, I'll jump the second one because I want Rolene to respond to that about evangelists and diploma and certificate that they get. Can you come closer, please? Then the third one, I also wish it answered by the Secretariat because HIV and drugs are its own director. All what it is done, it is Harvard. I mean, the office is at the late training. So we need to understand who should answer about that. Otherwise, the report is there, but it has its own director. Thank you so much. About the Kiswahili language and the books that we are running from late training and other places, I think what we need to do, and I've been thinking about this, is it is time we call upon our brothers from Tanzania to work together with us at the rate training, and we are about to organize that so that we can translate some of those books into Kiswahili that we are using. The only challenge that we have is that most of the people who have written books have written them in English, and the same books can be translated again with the permission of those who have written. Those are the manuals that we use for training. So it's something that is workable, and all what we need is to sit down and plan together. No, it is not intentional. It's only that it is intentional when it comes to writing, because majority of us, when we come to writing, we write in English. So it's good that we work together with our brothers from Tanzania. In fact, there was a time I was proposing to them we can also start a branch of the retraining down Dar es Salaam or Arusha, so that we can be able to train elders. In our case, when we have elders who do not understand English, I'm using that deliberately, we use Kiswahili. Like now in the last 3 groups, there was one group that was people from areas that are not very conversant with English. Some of them have gone up to class 7 or less than. So what we did was we did everything in Kiswahili so that at least those elders can understand. So again, I'll talk to Msamira so that we organize, because I think they train the elders in Tanzania, they don't bring them to the retraining, but we shall work out together and see how we do it from the same perspective and give them the topics that they can train on, and then we can oversee that kind of training. About the diplomas, Lorraine, please.
Thank you, moderator, sir. About the academic qualifications for the diploma that the evangelists do at Lay Training Center, Reverend Bogo, yes, I think previously it was not an academic degree, but from April of 2020, we have upgraded it so that the curriculum is academic. The lecturers who teach at PUEA also teach at the Lay Training. The course outlines have been collected, the exams are moderated, the marks are moderated, and so we have, as I said, upgraded to an academic degree, which would be acceptable, I think, for those who are applying for the Holy Ministry. So before 2020, I cannot speak to that era, but since 2020, anyone who has received a diploma in evangelism from the Lay Training Center has done an academic degree. And even in admitting the most recent class, we required the same level of academic qualification that is required to do a diploma in the university. I hope that is clear.
Thank you. Now, theological education by extension.
Thank you, moderator. There was one question about the intention of TE course is for all members of the church, including those who are not yet academically very much qualified. And one way that we deal with that is that TE is done in groups, so that somebody who is able to understand can help others to be able to walk through. In fact, we even have a certificate of participation for those who may not do exams and other things. They go through the whole course, but we don't give them a transcript, but we give them just because they cannot write, but they can participate. My predecessors tried to do translation into Swahili, but the demand for Swahili books is not there. So the one book they did the translation, almost all the copies are still in the office and nobody asks for them. So we still can probably, as my co-director, past moderator said, we can look at Tanzania and how we can work together. Thank you, moderator.
PUEA.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. The question that came was about, came from the members, how PUEA and Robate are generating their revenue. I can only talk about PUEA in this case. Currently, the main source of PUEA revenue is student fees. There are a few hostels which students are paying, so again, there's minimal revenue coming in through payment of that. Then student staff houses are not many, but something small is coming through there. So, Mr. Moderator, at the moment, we are hoping that some money will be available for capital investment to put up apartments. You know, the land is available, and a good number of it is empty. So there has been this talk among ourselves how we could put up apartments there for students or a hostel for students, an apartment for outsiders, which will enhance the income for the university. So when I talked about the capitation from the church, 100 million, and I think the member was asking something about it. It is for this kind of work, or this kind of activity. If the money came, it will help the university to come up with income-generating structures like that one. And along that, I think the member also asked something which I didn't quite capture, whether this is feasible, and what do we think the church, how the church will benefit from the money? Was that the question? If that was the question, if we are expecting the church to pump in 100 million, the question I was asking, what are the benefits for the church? Mr. Moderator, this is a church's baby. Where is a church's baby? So the baby is not grown yet. So you feed the baby. When the baby grows up, it will start working, and we would hope that in years to come, there will be some money which can be brought back in the church in the years to come, when the university will be fully established and have its enough income. So in that way, first of all, the church is benefiting by having a university. There's a value in that for the church, not counting the monetary value. That itself is a value. The church owns a university and is running. God willing, the university can, in the future, be able to provide some money back to the church. The other question was about law. I mean, we are teaching, what we are teaching for this area is certificate and diploma. To do this, we don't need Q permission. The Senate approves the certificate and the diploma programs. Is a degree programs which require permission from Q. And that is now in the pipeline. It's one of the programs. We hope that it will be approved by Q before too long. Oh, the other one, about why is a financial report not here? Where will it be presented next? Mr. Moderator, I apologize, it's not here. But I have seen it. It's about 25 pages. But not being signed is not, official, where the accountants, when it's not signed, the council finance committee chair has to scrutinize it, sign it, and then pass it to the VC and the others. So we are apologizing, it's not done because he was away. We would hope that, Mr. Moderator, it can be presented to the business if the members, this court agrees. So that's where we are. It's one of these things that we viewed as. The other one was about the chancellor. This I was the chairman of the BOT to respond, because it is the church who owns the place, and the BOT is church's representative as the highest organ there. So it is the BOT which has the mandate to give us a chancellor. So Mr. BOT Chairman.
Maybe the two about audited report having not been signed, therefore not presented, and this other question that is being asked, maybe the chairman will guide us to the way forward.
Chair, in regard to the accounts, still make the same request that this committee would allow the business committee to look at those accounts. And the apology has been brought forth that they are not ready. And you know there is also a deadline as to when reports should be in the docket. So by that time they were not ready. They have not even been ready for the last days of preparation. So if allowed by this committee, we can have them scrutinized by the business committee. In regard to the Chancellor, it has been quite a journey because we started with forming the other organs. The BOT, you know, when we got the charter, there was a requirement that all organs of the university would need to be reorganized and restructured. So we started with the BOT. It's quite a task because there are quite a number of expectations, not like the way we operated before, where we looked aloud and found our members and they became members of the BOT. We now are required to look outside PCA, and we realized that we know very few people outside PCA. And there are qualifications, not just anybody. If it were to go for just members, it would have been easy. But now you are required to bring people with professional experience of a certain area, and they should not necessarily be from PCA. So we struggled with that, and we managed to bring forth the BOT as you see it. Then we moved on to the University Council, another task that was quite difficult, because again, we're also required to bring forth people who are not Presbyterians, in fact more than even in the BOT. So it was also another struggle. You call people, you visit them, some decline, and so on and so forth. But eventually we were able to get the two bodies. We were able even to commission the two, and the two are now working. Particularly the University Council, that is more where the rubber meets the road in the university, management of the university is working. Therefore we thank God for that. When it came now for the BOT to appoint a chancellor, because the BOT had to be commissioned first and then look for a chancellor, again it became quite difficult. It's not that this position requires a certain academic credentials, but we were advised by the Commission on University Education to look for someone who would make the university known, someone who would be quietly a salesperson, marketing the university through their name. And we thought around about some people, we approached them, unfortunately they declined. Not once, not twice, not thrice. In different people, they declined. And you know how bad it can be when you're approaching a lady for marriage, and once, twice, thrice, you are rejected by 3 different ladies. You may end up being a bachelor forever. We have not given up. We still have a few people we are thinking of approaching because of that fact of, we would want somebody with, so to speak, for lack of a better word, someone who has some color. You know, when they say this is the Chancellor of the Presbyterian University of East Africa, it goes beyond just PCA. It goes beyond our own homestead. You know, those were the kind of people we were advised to look for. There are no minimum qualifications like for those joining the University Council or for one to be appointed as Vice Chancellor, but you try to look for someone who you think when they come to grant, you know, awards and certificates, even the media will come over and try to follow where they are. People who can even make the university, you know, raise funds out there because of their name. So those are the kind of people. We are still open to help. So in case you know someone who can fit the bill, you can whisper to us. You can also help us get to that person. But we still have a few choices, a few options, and we are going to follow them up. And we believe that before the next graduation, we shall have got a chancellor who can be installed to execute that responsibility. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Now, comments.
Thank you, moderator. I have 2 comments, one to the PUEA, the other one to the rate training. Now, we are talking of resources, but where have first land which is underutilized. Even if they are the church baby, they should at least utilize that land, produce some food, feed the students, and gain that money, even as they wait for more funds. So that is one challenge. The other one, we all know that one elder, Kiania Buru, Savia, served late training of evangelists with utmost dedication. And in his retirement, nothing was mentioned about him. So this GAC should at least honor him and maybe pass a resolution, maybe with an award for the exemplary work done by Elder Savia Buru. Thank you.
Reverend Gathige, I hope you are writing new people.
Thank you, moderator, and the committee for the chance. I will direct my comment to Puer. When a habit is repeatedly resurfacing, I don't know how those who are outside will interpret it. The last GAC that took place in Nakuru, Mirere, Puer didn't present the audited financial statement. It has already repeatedly today. There in Nakuru, I was there. It was directed that business committee will receive the report. I again happened to be a member of business committee. And I said in business committee, it's as if maybe Puer is directing the intelligence of business committee because the report was not tendered. The same case has repeated itself today. We are trying to advocate for this university. Let them who are on that side also motivate us to eradicate such gray areas, because the same case happened in Nakuru, the same case now has repeated it.
Gitondo.
Yeah, thank you, moderator. We are glad to have received the report from the training telling us that something is happening within our institutions. But again, allow me to direct my comment in Puer, where they are asking for capitation or support from the church to the tune of 100 million annually. Moderator sir, we acknowledge the fact that we grow gradually, but it should not be of great worry to the institution on finances or capital that can help them to learn the institution administratively and in all other areas. Because I believe the request is directed, or rather looked into with the previous years. In December, we received a charter. This has brought in secondment of students from the government, and therefore we have increased our number, and that will consequently increase the income. And I believe, even if we have not received the auditor report to see the surplus or the profit or losses made, we believe that there will be more capital with that. So there might be no need of capitation at the moment. Thank you.
Reverend Jennifer Mushemi.
Asante sana, moderator. Most of what I wanted to say have been said. Like, I want to say, where is our baby? We have fed this baby enough. Na amekataa kukua. It doesn't need to be fed anymore. I'm speaking from the cloud. And if they cannot find it necessary to bring the report, because we knew even there would be GAC. And we were there in Nakuru. What is it they are hiding for us? When we don't have information, tutajiongezea. So, I don't think they really have, it's fair to ask for capitation when they are not doing their part. Let them use what they already have. And from the cloud, mtoto amelishwa sana, amekataa kukua, akue tu pole pole, gradually, so that we can even take care of our members. Because modality, sometimes I ask myself, is it morally right to ask somebody who is not able to take their children to university, to further university? And we have those people still in this church. Watoto wao wanafika class 8, they would want to take them to even high school, they are unable. Or Form 4, and they are unable. They could also want them to come to Nairobi. And then, time and again, they are told, we need to contribute for prayer, for this. Sometimes, hata hao watu ni vizuri tuwahurumie. So, huyo mtoto sasa, kwa sababu there is an age, if somebody is 5, he need to look like 5 years old. Somebody is 10, they need to look like 10 years old. So, prayer is old, but they don't look their age. They have refused simply to grow. And like, it is so easy, you do whatever you do, then you come and say, we need to be helped. We agree here, but we take to people who have a lot of financial burdens. So I'm speaking like somebody from village where I come, we need to take care of our people from Sohonoi, from wherever, those small congregations, and not burden them with the prayer money. Thank you so much.
A comment from my mother.
Thank you, Mr.
All right,
Morodasa.
order. Let's listen to Brother Mahida.
Thank you, Mr. Morodasa. My comments will go to prayer and also to Lubate. Given the fact that the number of students available to join universities at the C+ and above, most of them they go to the government institutions. And what we have in prayer, most of them are government-sponsored students. We should also think of marketing beyond PCA so to get enough students, because as you said, you get money from the students when they pay their school fees. You never know what will happen tomorrow. One day it may happen that all the students who are government sponsored are ordered to go back to the universities, the public universities. What will be the future of prayer? What about Rubate? The number of students are very few. What we need to think outside the box, so that the other thing is that we need also to synchronize. We have institutions. If prayer as a university would work with other institutions like the hospitals, we can develop programs where we can get students working with the hospitals, and also medicine diplomas and certificates, and also which will be also qualified to become take student degrees in the university. I think you need to get out of the topic, out of the box, and look beyond the PCA, because experience has shown that even in our own areas, when you start academies and we expect members of the PCA to bring their students there, they won't bring until the academy is working well and also shining. That's when we find them coming to say that they want their pupils to be admitted in the academies, even nursery schools, even high schools. So we need to think out of the box.
Okay, let's stop there because of interest of time. We have a whole list of reports to be made. Let's have the resolutions now.
Moderator, sir, before the resolution, just two clarifications. One is that the HIV and drugs desk is under lay training, and they report under lay training. Actually, the docket, their report is one with lay training. It's also good to clarify that Elder Safi Mburu, though there is no resolution to that effect, because it came as a comment, it's good to clarify that he was gifted from the office as he was leaving. He was gifted gifted a send-off from the Office for Appreciation. Resolutions, document 5. 1. This GAC receives the report of the Training and Personnel Development Committee and the audited reports with appreciation.
Agreed.
2. This GAC appreciates the work done by the outgoing lay training director, Reverend Henry Gashero Kaira. Further welcomes the new lay training director, Very Reverend Dr. Julius Mwamba, and the new Training Personnel Development Committee Secretary, Reverend Paul Kariuki, the Deputy Secretary General.
Agreed.
3. The GAC appreciates the ongoing process of restructuring PUEA after the award of the charter. Further, this GAC instructs the training committee to work closely with the university with key focus of aligning the theology department to meet the needs of the church and maintaining the standard of a chartered university.
Is that accepted?
4. This GAC notes with concern the gaps of the number of students trained due to COVID-19 and the status of theology department in PUEA. Further, this GA instructs the training and personnel development to be intentional and strategic in recruitment and future training.
Is that accepted?
5. This GAC appreciates the resolve by the Lay Training Management Board to harmonize their master plan on the remaining lay training land. Further, this GAC instructs the board to fast-track the upgrading of the old center's old facilities to be well positioned to reap and gain from the transformation through the express highway.
Is that accepted? Please, if there is a yes, make it a healthy, strong, well-articulated yes. Agreed?
6. This GAC appreciates the new program initiated by Lay Training Center. Further, this GAC encourages presbyteries and parishes to take advantage of all the programs offered by the institution by sending their members to benefit from the same.
Agreed?
7. This GAC directs that all parishes encourage formation of Young Parents Fellowship, and the fellowships make use of study materials that will be produced by the TE department to build their capacity as couples and as parents.
Is that accepted?
8. This GAC appreciates the Presbyterian University of East Africa for the role they play in producing champions with the relevant and requisite competencies and skills for service to God and humanity in a dynamic world. Further, this GAC requests all the presbyteries to embrace, support, advertise the university programs to their members and friends and encourage them to enroll with the university. Further, the GAC notes with appreciation the role played by the Chancellor, GAC officials, University Board of Trustees, University Governing Council, Management Board, Senate, and the entire university staff for their untiring efforts toward the sustained growth of a university.
Agreed? Correction? Mike?
Thank you, moderator. The GAC does request or does instructs. I would suggest that we rephrase to instruct presbyteries and not request. On that, on the third line, further the GAC requests all the presbyteries, we change that to instructs.
We change that to, you accept it that way? All right.
Noted. 9. This GAC appreciates the role played by the sponsor in getting the university chartered and the contribution in assisting the university manage its liabilities.
Agreed? Any other? Yes.
Thank you, moderator. This GAC acknowledges with appreciation the exemplary selfless service rendered by former director of Evangelist Training Program, Elder Savia K. Buru, and prays for God's blessings in his future endeavors.
Is that accepted? All right, write it well. The gentleman at the corner there, Reverend.
Mine is thank you, moderator. It's a typo in number 5 to correct a typo. That is the last sentence. To reap gain from the transformation through the express highway. It is written form.
Gain form.
From, yeah, it's
not
5, yeah.
Okay. Noted. Noted? All right. Now, we are people who believe in prayer. And you know God has performed quite a number of miracles when we pray. The issuance of charter was not easy. I don't know how many enemies we had that were opposing, from all directions. It's by the unique, special, amazing, extraordinary grace that the good Lord allowed us to have the charter. I plead with you people, because someone who has been sick and well in a hospital, in the ICU, requires time to recover, that you pray with us, that the recovery and the gaining of health and momentum and knowledge and ability and staff and all this be given to prayer. Be given to prayer. Please pray. Because for the issuance of charter, we prayed. Therefore, we are not going to be like other people who are the non-Presbyterians who will criticize us. Please don't criticize your own baby. Let us nurture this baby prayerfully and bring in ideas to the staff and to the church office so that we can, by next year, halfway next year, or after next year, we shall have gained strength, momentum, and even credibility. But let us not criticize our own baby that is recovering, knowing that we have been praying and beseeching God, have mercy upon us, and it took God for a long time to hear us. Now that he has heard us, let us work with him in nurturing. Number 2, we also request that people, because our university will run, will be able to be sustained by the students, even to be able to pay the members of staff and to run the university. Please, not making an attempt, not even trying, not risking, bring your own students and encourage others to join us. Please, request from within the family of the church that owns prayer, and you are the stakeholders. Don't, if other people hate you, don't hate yourself. Give time to recover, and you prayer grow quickly. That is to be seconded by past moderator.
One of the things I want to put clear here is that where we were last year is not where we are in terms of prayer. Our fear is no more. All what we need to do is all of us to wake up and now support prayer. It doesn't need money. It only needs students. Tuko pamoja? Because if you go back to history, when you were like the pastor monitor has mentioned, our church father, would go make 10 steps, find ourselves 20 steps back. Make another 10 steps forward, we find ourselves 15 steps back. When you get to look at what was happening, you find ourselves there. We are progressing, we want to progress, but at the same time, we push ourselves backwards. My plea is is this, as I support what the moderator said. Our fear is no more, because our fear is that our students who graduate from POEA will not be recognized because we have no charter. Now we have a charter. Number two, our fear, we thank God that the government has been able to support POEA with students. It is upon us, presbyteries, now we go out. I wish all of us can recruit 3 to 5 students. I want to tell you, we don't need even to support them. Recruit them. Because like last year, I know many wanted to leave other universities to come to our university, especially the government-sponsored school. If you tell you more than 200 of them were to go other universities, but they came to our university because our university took it to be a university of choice. What about us, members of the Presbyterian Church family? Please, for heaven's sake. I agree with what Jennifer said. Looking at a child 2, 3, 5 years, and then you find the child is not growing, you get worried. I wonder if you find the 7th year, the child has started growing, what happens? You also become very happy about the same, because we are family people. So what I'm saying is that our university is growing, and we thank God for the management that is there now. We thank God for the plans that are there now. Let us all go home, support our university, and I want to tell you, 2, 3 years down the line, we will sit here again or elsewhere to evaluate how far we have grown. So long as all of us go tell people the fear is no more. I like the ladies when they went to the tomb. You remember, their fear was who will roll down the stone. Without knowing who will roll down the stone, when they got there, they met the stone is already not a deal. The deal became the body is not there. Then they went back, and I only see, because I watched one of the programs in the TV, I only see Peter running down there to confirm. And then there's another one that is acted in Kikuyu, where Thomas went around fighting everybody, wanting to know where Jesus is. But at the end of the day, when they met Jesus, they all went down to where they were told to wait for the Holy Spirit. When the Holy Spirit came, they woke up and went preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ. That's why you and me, out of that desperate move that was done at the tomb, we are all Christians. I'm looking for that day, our university. I'm looking for that day when that university will be what has been the dream of our church fathers, what has been the dream of this church, and to me, hopeful like my father is, that one day, not a very far future, that university will be where it is supposed to be. We all say, amen. Come on, say my amen, bus.
That is the report from the training committee. Sorry, it has taken a little longer, but it combines quite a number of departments within it. And shall we give them a hand, please? Thank you very much, members of the team, and keep on keeping on.
Thank you, Past Moderator, for chairing that session so well. We now invite the Principal Clerk to give us the next order.
Moderator, much as we want to continue, I can see many people are already asleep, and to be sincere, they are hungry. So we had said that there will be 2 reports to be read, but I doubt the concentration of the commissioners and the delegate. So I would request, Moderator, at this juncture, we first of all break for lunch, so that immediately after we come back, the 2 committees will do their first draft then we continue with the business. Be ready to push today to where the Lord will help us. So pray for strength so that we conclude the business of the day. Moderator, the issue is they are the ones who are talking a lot.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yes. I gave them a yellow card in the morning when they insisted they wanted the choir to do 2 numbers. And I told them they were delaying their exit. So the more you talk, which is healthy anyway, the more you talk, the more we, but you are still able to go up to tomorrow if we have business to do. So we shouldn't get very worried because this is your GAC. It happens once in a year. So if we don't exhaust much as we can and don't, again, it's not good for you to have come all over from where you came from and fail to have an opportunity to say something. Hata kama ni kusalimiana. Kwa hivyo, ukipata nafasi tafadhali, uitumie vizuri. Asanteni. Basi ni wakati wa kuombea lunch na kufuga session hii. Na tunauliza wana worship wafanye hivyo.